Yo yo yo, Yosef here, and you join me for another beautiful morning, beautiful sunny day at Parkrun in South East London. Today we're at Orpington Parkrun, and the first thing to note here is that they start on time, 9 o'clock on the dot, and we were off. As you see, one guy there late to the start. But it's a bit of an interesting course, as you can see down on the bottom right. We'll do a bit of a flyover. It's kind of 2 and a bit laps. So this first little bit is a small lap of what they will call their starter field, and then for the second and a half lap you go right around the outside. So I'll walk that through. You'll see this first corner, this is a shorter start of the first lap. You'll see that volunteer on the left. On the second lap you'll actually go through that little shortcut on the left hand side to make up the miles and do the field at the back as well. So as always, I will try to give a quick overview of the course, kind of what to expect. I will skip through the bits which are a little bit more obvious. You know, we're just doing a little lap of this first field on the grass path. But there are 1 or 2 quite important notes on this course, just to make sure that you don't accidentally cut any corners, and especially on the back straight, there's just some uneven ground to look out. And you'll see in my description, I call this one lumpy bumpy, so there is once or twice where you will just have to watch your footing. So the first important note, as you've done that first little loop of the field, you come onto this hardcore path and you will make a right hand turn here around the pavilion. So after your second lap, straight ahead is the finish line, but for now we're just looping around this pavilion, and as you come left we're gonna cut across some playing field, and it's quite easy to accidentally cut the corner here. So just make sure that you're following the cones. It's easy if you've got a trail of people in front of you, but once it starts to get a bit spread out, you'll actually see on the second lap I nearly cut across here. So just follow the cones on the floor, you'll see them marked out, and you do kind of this little bit of an S shape and keep on following that round. I did actually bring my drone with me today, so this is a beautiful field that you're running around today. And it's a hot, crispy one, so the grass is looking a little bit worse for wear, but still a beautiful, beautiful park. So this is a park we're just crossing now, and we'll go right around the outside of that far side as well, into a little bit of a trail path to finish off with, which is beautiful. As you follow these cones right, there's a little bit more of a straight, and then there's some lumps and bumps coming up ahead, so watch out for those. I'll call them out. So on to the important bits and bobs about the course. For PB potential, I would call this low to medium. It's about 65 metres of elevation, so it's not really a hilly, undulating course, but it has got some hills and they do kind of creep up on you, especially on that back stretch through the trailwoods. We're also on a very dry day. It's not rained for 30 days in London here. So, you know, in winter or even spring with a bit of slippery grass, this would slow you down a little bit as well. If we look at the winning times, the men's first place is usually around 18 minutes, while women's probably around 20 to 21 minutes. So, you know, if you compare that to somewhere like Dulwich, it's a good 2 or 3 minutes quicker. Yep, the whole course in general is just very grassy, but we do get onto a tarmac section just now where you are able to pick up the pace just a little bit. The course overall is probably about 80% grass, maybe 5% of this little tarmac path, and then yeah, maybe about 15% up through the trails, through the woods on the back stretch. So that may all impact your time, especially in the wetter months. As you come to the end of this path, you actually don't follow the tarmac path over to the left. You'll see some cones laid out and you cut across the grass. And now for the next kind of kilometre, we'll go through the woodland section at the back. And yeah, definitely just watch your feet on the tree roots. This was really very welcome shade on such a hot day. But you'll see the elevation does start to creep up. So it's a little bit harder work here, and on the second lap you do have to be a bit more careful, as you will be potentially overtaking people who are on their first lap, and it can get a bit narrow and there's routes on the right hand side, so again, just be conscious of the runners around.
Cheers, mate.
Well done, keep going.
Now you may have noticed I've been tackling all of my park runs in southeast of London. A lot of them are on these grassy fields, which at the minute are very dry, so I'm trying to get these covered off in winter. I'm trying to get these covered off in summer so that I don't have to go through these muddy fields in winter. But yeah, similar kind of vibes at this one. It seems it's quite regular across all of southeast London. Just very friendly atmosphere, quite a small size, not very busy. Typically around 150 to 200 people, so you know, not crazy busy like the big London.
Cheers.
So technically this is kind of the end of the first lap, and we're just coming to where the start line was, but instead of doing that small first field, we cut through to the left and do a larger loop of the field at the back. More important things about the courts, these were some of the best toilets I've been to at a park. They had a pavilion with lots of changing rooms, loads of cubicles, loads of space, so the toilets are great here. Here is where we're turning left, so
Cheers,
at the
mate.
very start we turned right, but the volunteers and marshals will show you which way to go. We just peeled left there to do a loop of this backfield. But yeah, I was told that there is usually coffee in the pavilion, but we're on the summer holidays here, so they won't be serving coffee during the summer break, in which case people were suggesting that a lot of people head down to the Twin Cafe, which was nearby. Twin Cafe, Twins Cafe, I think it was called. But yeah, it seemed that most people were heading there. As we come from here, we're at 2.5 kilometres and we'll do one big full lap of the outside. You'll see on our final lap, this is where you want to start picking up and getting in your sprint finish. I'll show you where the finish line is as we're just going to pass it very shortly. So yeah, you just need to pay attention here. On your next lap you will go straight ahead for the finishing funnel, but for now we will peel right, and yeah, just pay attention here.
Thank you.
As we come around the pavilion, you'll see that I almost cut the corner, and you do just have to keep an eye out on the little cones on the floor to make sure you're going the right way.
Oh.
Alright, so the last few bits and bobs before I speed through this second lap is transit to here is pretty good. There is free parking at Goddington Park car park. What I actually did, I got the train to Orpington rail station, which is about 1.5 miles, so that was a nice little warm-up jog. If that's a bit too far for you, you can get the bus, I think it's the R1 or the R7, from Orpington station to the parkrun. Chelsfield train station is also a little bit closer, 0.7 miles, but those trains just look a little bit less frequent. Last two bits of kind of admin are buggies and dogs. Didn't see too many dogs today, but that's because this weather has been absolutely scorching. Dogs would be very welcome. I think it was just high 20 degrees and it honestly hasn't rained for a month. This was funny actually, because I came to check out the course before I ran, and I went down this path on the right hand side, and it is gorgeous, so I took my drone down there. I thought that's where the route was going to go for the parkrun, but it didn't do it, cut across the fields. But if you find yourself with some time, definitely explore the park a little bit more. Actually, if you are travelling down to Orpington Parkrun, there's a few things to do in the local area. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people kind of head down to Twins Cafe to grab coffee, or you can head into Orpington High Street for, you know, a bit more of a brunch. We're hitting this trail section, you can see these routes, they
Cheers,
really
mate.
are
Thank you.
quite overgrown. It's lovely to run through, but you do just have to watch your footing, especially as you start to overtake people on their second lap, and it gets a little bit narrower. So yeah, if you're heading down to Orpington High Street, there's also Priory Gardens nearby, which is really meant to be absolutely beautiful. Or you can head down for a 10-minute drive down to Down House. Funnily enough, it is in Down, but spelt differently, which is the home of Charles Darwin, so that can be a little nice fun day out too. Yeah, I imagine a buggy on this course in this weather would be okay, but these routes might cause you just a little bit of trouble on this back straight. And then, as always, if you're pushing a buggy through fields and some trails in winter, you can expect it to be a little bit tougher with the mud as well. So I'm sorry this video was a little bit delayed. I was actually on a motorcycle trip last weekend doing a little bit of off-roading around Wales, and it was gorgeous. So I didn't do one of my London park runs last week. I was actually at Parkrun. But yeah, I was just enjoying my time on the bike. It's originally what I wanted to do a little bit more on this channel, so I will try to squeeze in some videos here and there from the motorbike as well. But I'm just running so much and that seems to be taking the priority at the minute. Yeah, this was just beautiful. Couldn't believe this was Wales. It was absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, back to the park run. We're getting ready for our final sprint. As we rounded that final corner on the back field, we had about 300 metres to go, and as you go over this bump, you'll have about 200 metres to go. So use that to help you kind of judge if you're going to give a little bit of a kick at the end. That's where you want to go. So I've kicked from 200 metres. I think I maybe should have gone just a tiny bit earlier, but my heart rate was 188, so maybe 200 metres is enough for me to start. 200 metres to go. Got a lot of encouragement as I start getting my dying coughs and breaths on. It's just 100 metres to go for the final stretch. So enjoy this little sprint finish, and I will catch you next time. I'm heading over to Footscray Meadows tomorrow at the time of recording, so maybe I'll see someone. Alright, peace, GG.